Guess what? We're live. Oh, you're actually doing musica this time, right? Oh, you got drum roll. She's got a drum roll going. It's and claps. All right. As we're getting started here, welcome everybody to. Actually, I should put our faces up there. Welcome to
the potato show.
It's not the potato show, Todd. That's delicious. That's delicious for April 19th, 2020. Or as we like to say, Sunday. But it's a very special day. What day is it today, El?
Our Easter.
It is Orthodox Easter today. So what do you say for Easter for a lot of folks? You should also you can say Happy Easter. What's the way we say it at the church?
Christos.
Vos.
I don't.
Christos vos crece.
Christos vos crece.
Yeah, Risto vos voice is crazy. Yes, excellent. Christos vos crece. Everybody, happy Easter to everyone that celebrates Easter. We love you guys. It's going to be a really fun show today, and we'll tell you why in just a second. Did want to mention the Big Shot VIP again, Jordon. I'm reading ahead. Jordan's the Big Shot VIP. If you want to be a Big Shot VIP, just help support our show because we buy equipment like lights and hosting and all that kind of stuff. Remember to check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/Dalibor. I set it up under my name. But the real deal. We have a very special guest today. One of my idols, I guess you could call it, from way back. Actually, not way back. I'm not going to make you older. I'm just going to say one of my idols. I've known him for a long time. You guys have been listening to him forever. DJ SPAZ. Goran, how is it going, my good man?
Dobro večer. How are you?
I'm It is so great to have you on, man.
I appreciate the invite, my friend. I appreciate the invite. Yes, I've known you forever. Right?
Forever.
Your kind words are appreciated. I just want you to know that. Ali Tusmo, 2020.
We made it.
Tusmo.
I know, man. 20 years, I think I've been going to your events here in Detroit, Tamo in Chicago. I mean, it's been nonstop. I mean, you're worldwide at this point. You've been all over the place.
I have been very lucky and blessed, and I thank people like yourself who gave me the initial support that was needed to get to where I am today.
Definitely,
the city of Detroit, which was the first city outside of my hometown to do these events.
Oh God, I remember we used to call them back in the day, Toto. We used to call them DJ parties. And when DJ SPAZ would come from out of town, it was the biggest deal, right? We had a lot of great local DJs, a lot of great friends of mine. I used to DJ back in the day. But whenever SPAZ came from, whenever he came from out of town, it was a big event. Everybody came out. He would always have the newest music. He would always have like the hottest hits, and we'd be dancing. Colo, oro, we do all that fun stuff. You know how to dance it a little bit, right, Tat? You know, she knows a few of the songs. But you've helped usher in kind of the whole big kind of secondary wave of Balkan music into the States. You were a big part of that, at least in the Midwest. I mean, and obviously it's spread out beyond that. I remember hearing some of the biggest songs. Marco, how's it going? Also, Marco, good, big fan.
Collega.
Yes. I remember hearing one of my favorite songs, one of the songs that I still play to this day at your event, the very first time, Plava Ciganko. It's like oldie but a goodie. I heard that song, and that was one of the first times I actually thought, wow, I'm really into into this music. I mean, I wasn't big into the scene all that much, but I loved it, and I've been going ever since. You helped kind of get me into DJing, just kind of watching you spin and do all that stuff. So, kudos, man. You are a legenda.
Your words are very kind, and I appreciate it very much.
Yes. So I wanted to kind of take this interview in a couple different ways. First, tell me your story. What's Goran's story? How did you get into the scene?
So let's see. It's got to go back a little bit, right? Back in time. High school, mid-90s.
Oh, yeah.
Loved the radio, the communications, the radio I liked because you couldn't see me, right? I'm not right?
We have faces for radio. That's what we say.
Changed, yeah. But, all right, but you would be behind the scenes. You could, do a lot where they don't see you and paperwork and still catch up and still they wouldn't even know you're missing a beat, but you're like hectic in the background. And I really wanted to be a radio DJ, right? When I say radio DJ, I mean like FM radio.
Sure.
Station here in Chicago. It was called B96, still around.
Still around.
Still around. Killer B, B96.
Killer B.
And that option was very distant, right? You had to build up to get there. You needed to you needed to know somebody,
sure,
to get somebody in, and it was a very closed market, right? Unless you happen to by chance, fall through the cracks and make it, right? But then on the other hand, there was a Serbian radio show in Chicago called Radio Tamo Daleko, Tesla Radio. And my grandfather would listen to that nonstop. Znači, čovek sluša samo taj radio. Weekends is blaring on the AM dial.
AM radio, baby.
He's hearing the songs for all that,
the fuzz, yeah.
And it's sort of like the Baker's Hour at night on your AM. Yeah. I don't know if that's still around or not in Detroit.
Still is, yeah.
So, it was one of those things. And the owner of the guy who did the radio had a travel agency. And one day we walked in February. I'll never forget it. We were picking up tickets as a serviu for the summer.
Yeah.
Me and my dad. And he goes to him, "Hey, when you gonna give my unuk a chance?" And it's like, yeah. And the guy that hosted or was the domaćin of the show.
Yeah.
Urednik emisije was Petar Jovanović, Pera Tesla. And he's like, yeah, sure, come by. I said, okay, all right. And then, somehow, I don't know through what sreća this was, right? He goes, all right, come on a Friday. I'll give you a half an hour, and the show is going to be called Glas Mladi. Bio sam mlad tada, right?
Of course, back then,
like we all were, right?
Like we all were, yeah, babies.
So Pera goes, all right, come by. It was February 29th, 1996.
Wow. You remember
February 29th. So the joke was, okay, every February 29th you can do your show. Right? Every 4 years you're good to go. I swear to God, that's exactly how that whole thing started. I came in, tresem se nervosa, I wanted to do this. And this was great because it was Serbian music. I was kind of into it already,
sure,
because of, Baba and Deda, all
family,
and then all that 90-ih muzika I started picking up. And then I started doing this show, Glas Mladih, and then Pera Tesla would see me as a perfect fill-in, right? So here, you could do this show. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Just play the music. Okay.
All right.
I came and I played the music. And then Wednesdays became his golf day.
Okay.
Wednesdays were his golf day, right? And then other than that, you got to read this reclama. You have to read this. So this is all you got to do. You got to just read this and you're good to go.
Seeing the dominoes start to fall right now.
You do, totally. He took more days off. He had someone to do the show. And that's what propelled me into radio, right? Which is what I wanted to do anyway. And then you fast forward a year later in 1997, which is really the date that I use as the marker of my beginning. One of the places on the south side of Chicago, they were called Kalemegdan.
A great venue. Great venue.
Right? That little small dive bar.
Yep.
On the south side of Chicago. And the guy was looking for someone to play music Sunday nights after the picnic at the church. So 114th Sveti Simeon was famous. I mean, famous for Sunday night picnics. And those picnics had to end at 10 o'clock.
Right.
They were only a summer thing, right? So June to the end of August, maybe September, right? Maybe through Labor Day. I'm not sure. But
usually through Labor Day, yeah. Somewhere, yeah.
Right? And nobody wanted to go home at 10 p.m.
No.
But remember, these picnics had 600, 800, 1,000.
They were huge back in the day. Yeah. That's how we used to get together, right? That's how we used to see all the people. Right. We had them in Detroit too. Yeah, totally. Indiana had them.
Totally. So you know what I'm saying?
Right? Of course. Yeah.
So this was regularly every Sunday, and they were packed. And we're talking 1,000 people, and they wanted to go somewhere afterwards, right? So Kalemegdan was the place. I got tapped. to work. My coom called me, and I said, "Okay, let's do it." And I go, "I had the problem, right?" Mind you, I didn't even have a CD of my own, right? Because at the radio station, it's all theirs. It's all theirs, whatever. Had a couple of friends who lived directly across the street, right? The Grujic brothers. Dominic Grujic. They lived right across the street. They were kind enough to lend me their CDs.
Wow.
They lent me their CDs. So here I come with this like CD tower walking across the street. I put it up, I set it up, and that's where it started, right?
So and there it is.
Then begins and it starts rolling, right? And it was only, you only did that for the summertime, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, a year passes by, and I'm doing these little things, right? And the next summer hits, and we're back to Kalamagdan. Remember, and when I say we're packed, we are packed. The place is filled to capacity, right? Right after the picnic, because it's like
nobody has anywhere else to go. They're going to go there.
So I'm DJing the summer after. Same thing. Great, awesome. He's paid. He was, what to me was a phenomenal payday, right? I couldn't believe I was getting paid to do what I love, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we show up, and then here we go. What happens? Summer ends, and it's like someone turned the key, right? Because once summer's done, he's that.
Yeah.
He's like, I want you to work. I want you to work during the fall. I go, come. Nobody's gonna be here. That's okay. You come. Oh man. Okay. So I said, okay. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days, perfect. I got, Platio Mitrovic, and then there were points. I mean, there were days. I mean, it was like legit. It was me, the owner, the bartender, the one token drunk at the bar.
Of course, yeah.
And then maybe one more friend that came. That's Petro, bro. And when my friend didn't come, I just locked myself up in that little room, and I was like, played.
Let the CD turn, and you can
go five CD disc changer. 5 different CDs. And by this summer, I've gotten good because my friends across the street, those Grujic brothers, helped me burn CDs. So now I had all the hits on one CD. I didn't need to bring the tower anymore, right? So I didn't even get a CD case. I brought the shoebox.
The shoebox.
Everything fits in the shoebox. So that comes up. And then my other coom, Decky, I go to him, and we were talking, and I go, let's throw a party. You want to throw a party? Let's throw a party. Either he said it to me or I said it. I don't remember how that. He goes, okay, let's throw a party. Jesenia Žurka. Jesenia Žurka. All right, well, let's do it. We put it together. Boom. 400 people show up.
Wow.
And remember, this is before Instagram. Snapchat, Facebook, the social media that didn't exist. There was
no social media back then.
And telephones and home lines, right? So you get this opportunity to make a party. It's a success on top of that. And then, all right, well, we're not going to do this every time. We got to be careful here, right? This is Jesenia Žurka. It continues. When we didn't announce it, we didn't do anything. The owner comes back, hey, can you make another one? Talk to my coom. I go, yeah, let's do it. We're going to do it in the spring. Let's space it, right? But here we go. Next thing you know, we're going to make, what is it? Proleć na Žurka. And then something didn't like the name. And some guy goes, you should call it a Luda Žurka.
That's where the name came. Okay, there you go.
Bam. It is that. We should do that. And that's it. Luda Žurka. And shit, it takes off. We started doing events monthly there. Then Summer Mix 99 comes out. That was under a Sam Kappas production. And Sam Kappas Productions, who I've been with, and I am with to this day, makes the CD, meaning sponsors the CD. We get the CD out. Summer of 99, the CD is a huge, and cassette tape. Remember those things?
I remember those, yeah. Our kids will never know this. They'll never, what's a cassette, Dad? Oh, you only knew.
Right?
What's an MP3? It's what they say now, right?
Right. So what happens is the CD comes out, it's a big hit. Summer 99 goes through. End of 99, you hear people from other cities inquiring. Cleveland's inquiring, but Detroit's on the hit, right? Detroit is on Detroit, a lot of you guys from Detroit would always come to Chicago.
Yes, we would. Yep.
Either for the picnics or for the Zabavas or.
Yep. We didn't have a huge scene here yet. We were just starting up a little bit, but they were still doing a lot of band stuff. There were a few DJs, but they were mostly doing bands and like church parties and stuff. And so when we needed it, we went to Chicago.
Right. And you did. And you and Detroit, you don't show right?
Yep.
So here they come. And I get a call from a friend in Detroit, and he goes, let's do a party in Detroit. I said, let's do a party. And we go to Sveti Stefanečanski.
Yep.
And we do the first party, end of January. I'll never forget it.
I remember that one.
And that was 500 plus people.
Yep.
I'm like floored, taken back. The CD is what really prompted the whole thing, right? And just met so many good people. And that was the first time I ever left Chicago to do an event in the area. And bilo je super. Znači, tu smo došli. And then, but it wasn't just me. It was DJ Decky, myself. We brought this guy, Goran Davidovac, DJ Hitman from Chicago. We brought the crew from Chicago, cool. And we started doing events almost like every other month. For a little bit. And then that lasted for a couple of years. And then other cities opened up after that.
Sure.
Detroit was the very first city outside of Chicago that I go to. And it's nostalgic to me because, you know, I have a lot of lepe uspomene from Detroit and a lot of great people that I've met.
We're still so tight. It's funny because and you and I have talked about this in the past. We went from being people we met at parties, people we saw at clubs, to eventually a lot of us became family in a weird ways. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna introduce you to my cousin. I'll introduce you. And next thing you know, wait a minute, you're related to that person. Oh, and we're at the weddings together and all that kind of stuff. I think I was at an event in Chicago, and there you were walking by. I'm like, I'm kind of related to this guy now. It's like, we all end up kind of, it's the whole full circle thing, right? Like you're back where you start, and you're back with family, with friends. And that's what I think keeps that so strong. And so you start these, you've been doing these events now, you've been doing it forever. You're worldwide. I mean, I've been following you for a long time. You have a huge following on Facebook. I mean, everything and so here's where things get interesting. You're always known as this amazing live performance. You show up. I mean, whether you bring a big crew or it's just you and a stack of CDs, well, CDs, good luck these days, that tower. But whether, depending on the size, you're still bringing a lot of energy and a lot of fun. And now we're all indoors, right? And I've been watching you spinning a little bit here and there online. And instantly it's like, I'm watching the numbers tick up. It goes from like, 0 eyeballs, 50 eyeballs, 200 eyeballs, 1,100 eyeballs, and all of a sudden it's like this.
We got to 1,100, but thank you for the kind words.
This person sharing it, this person sharing it. All of a sudden, my whole feed, people are sharing. They're doing the watch parties and stuff. How have you? And we were talking about this a little bit in the pre-show. How are you kind of? Is this something you ever anticipated doing? Because you start off with radio where you're behind the scenes. No one sees you. I have a radio face, and now. Even on a stage, they're looking at each other instead of maybe looking at you or me or whatever. They're feeling the music. Now you're streaming. Everyone's directly watching you. You're putting on this live. You're doing TV essentially. How is it? How are you dealing with this shift right now?
It's first of all, Nisam Sanyel, right? It's something you look forward to plan. You're always planning, right?
We're planning it. Sure we are. Yeah.
But this was more of like, boom, spontaneous. This all started because I wanted to do an interview. In fact, what you're doing, I wanted to do an interview with somebody that I inspired me growing up. And one of those people were this guy, Danny Danilovic from the United Serbs Band in Chicago. Very inspirational. He had that energy when we were kids. He was the Zabava band. The dances at church, they would play most of them down here, a handful. I mean, majority, I would say, right? But he had that energy. I looked up to him. I still look up to him, and I call him and I go, look, I want the story of you guys. I want it on a digital format. I want people to always be able to look back and say, this is it, right?
Sure. Some
hesitation on his end, I don't know. We'll see. Now he is doing his own United Serbs recaps and shows. So and I'm happy that he's doing it because I'm glued into him because it reminds me, very nostalgic, right? It's
Sure.
nostalgia. Such as the pessimist, such as where you were, such as something that happened, such as whatever. But about you for some people, right? Whatever it may be. And that's what, and then while I was waiting to do that, I was like, no šta, ja ću sam. Ja ću, brate, ovo da uradim I to je to. And man, I rigged this thing together with iPads, no microphone, no mixer. This, I sounded like this.
Yeah.
I sounded like this, and it was okay. We played with it. The music was loud enough. I tilted the speakers, and I was like, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. Then I started doing 2 iPads, 2 streams. Next thing you know, quality got a little bit better as far as the music goes.
Sure.
Next thing you know, mixetta mi je tu, microphone mi je tu, headphones are on.
You got the whole thing going.
So, and
it's
then
a production now, isn't it?
The numbers, as you were saying, exactly that. They start ticking, right?
Yep.
30, 50, 80, 100, 200. And then all of a sudden you're like, people are interested in this. I see that some people neki ću da zaspu listening to me talk, and I understand that. Ja bi isto zaspao, I heard myself talking as much as I did. But to people who want to hear this, I was taken back. A lot of nostalgia, right? And I was just doing it. Next thing you know, I said this night, but then again, what's changed over the years is the demographic.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And now you have, people who were born here, people who were born there, people who were born there and came early 2000s, people who were born there and just came over.
Sure.
The last 5, 10
That's
years.
a big mix now. Yeah.
Huge. It's huge. And then you have the American born,
Sure.
American born tambura lovers, right? Predominantly, when I say that, I think East Coast, I think Pittsburgh, right? And then you have American born people like myself who grew up to a mixture of both, right? And so it's you try to you want to make everybody happy. And by doing so, you make everybody unhappy.
Exactly. You can never aim for
So I said, okay, but ovako. And then I started theming the shows, right? Throwback Thursday. And the problem is a handful of people, when they're thinking like 2000s and 90s, they're thinking when I say 90s, they're thinking of like the pop 90s.
Yeah.
Beat Street, Funky G.
Yep.
Knez.
Yep.
That genre of music. But what I really meant was 90s growing up here.
Yes.
In the States, which means all that plus Dragana Mirković, plus Stara Ceca, plus who else? Keba Old School, right?
Keba Old School, yeah.
Živković comes to mind, right? These are people like those. Those are the people that we grew up with also here. That were like hits. Stari Mili, Stari Sinan, right? Usually better things of Shaban, right? So when I started playing all those people, I sensed there was a little.
Yeah, this is different 90s for us. Yeah.
90s, right?
Yeah.
So then I started chopping things, rock pop, where I do less narodnjake here.
Yeah.
And then it's very difficult da zadovolji svakog. And then anybody younger, younger,
forget it.
Forget about it, because they don't like any of that. They like Jala Brat, Buba Koreli, Maja Berović. They like Stojan. They like Janko. They like Cvija. They Rasta.
The Rasta. Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Which is great too. It's just this is the different generation now that is. Yeah.
And someone put Dr. Iggy. Yeah, Dr. Iggy. Right. Those are what we're talking about. But now, how do you cater to all? Right?
Yeah.
You can't. You got to try to break it up. And I've been lucky enough to mostly adapt. I've got a long way to go to what I need to play, but some things that haven't changed are like the Zabavas and the folklore festivals.
Okay.
We still have, unfortunately, the same repetition of music for the last 20 years. Right? Which, Gori More is still a hit. Zabavas, Gori More, my God, there's not one Zabava that's going to pass that has passed in the last 20 years without Gori More. I don't even know if Željko Šašić, who sings the song, knows how big of a hit is Gori More. is here in this country, at least, and at these folklore festivals. It's unbelievable. You know, so that's what, you know, what's happened, and this transition to, you know, virtual broadcast. You pick up everybody at one time, right? And what's even crazier is the views afterwards.
Bruh. It's because it's not just the one time you play, it's people seeing it later in the day, later in the week, and now all of a sudden you go from, you know, 200 in a night to 2,000 or whatever later on that week, and you're like, where did all these views come from? And now this is what we're all learning to do right now. Yeah. Well, man, that's amazing.
That's what happened. That's how this, you know, that's how we've updated here, you know.
You
know, now I have some, you know, naslednici. I have some, you know, some children who are ready to maybe be a part of this scene.
See that, Ellie? His kids are gonna be. Are you gonna be a part of the scene with me with the music stuff? Sure. My man. So you got. I mean, you mentioned your kids now, like the next generation. You've actually had them on streams a couple of times, messing around. It's been wonderful to see. What is?
By the way, not Goja.
Yes. If I could say, if you could give one last bit of advice to anybody who's maybe looking to get into music right now, DJing, spinning, emceeing, whatever, what's one last bit of advice that you would give?
Oh man, there's so much advice.
There's a lot, right?
I think it would be more about at least attempting to work together.
That's great.
Rather than cutting each other down. I mean, mismo, when you look at the whole great picture, we're a blurb on the screen. Right? A blip on the screen. However you say that, right? Yeah. And you know, I have to follow my own advice too, and it's difficult sometimes when people that are coming up in the industry believe the only way to get to, you know, to the top is by tearing somebody who might be up there already down, you know. And if we can work together, if we can at least be respectful of each other, and I haven't. All
of us, I think, all of us are learning.
You know, Ali, it's very difficult to do that. And then what you're doing is the pie is this big. Right? The pie is this big. Coco game. You know, you're chopping the pie up. Nobody's going to have a good time. There's going to be tension in the air, and we already have tension by just being where we're from. Right? So to je nepotrebno.
No.
Nepotrebno. And when that would be the only suggestion I have, you know, to try to be as respectful as we can to one another as far as dates go, as far as gigs go. I mean, I know everyone wants to say this is a business. Well, check it out. It is a business, but there's more to it. You know, there is. You know, we are also a community.
Yes.
And that is what I'm insistent on. You know, we are a community. And if we think that, and if we think that way, that we are, you know, a community, it should make it easier for us to dogovorimo.
Yes,
you know,
definitely.
Let's find that, you know, let's find that middle of the road and agree to it and move forward, you know.
And the more we respect and support each other, you know, the better everybody is, because it you know, karma, it always comes back, right? Whenever somebody asks me, you know, I'm looking for a DJ in Chicago, can you come out to Chicago? I'm like, you know what, to be honest, call up SPAZ, call up whoever, call up Chris if you want live music. Call these guys because they know the area better, right? Even here, like I even talked to my buddies. My buddy Tony was just messaging me now. Whenever someone, like I do a lot of weddings now, that's where the majority of my gigs come from.
I understand.
And I've actually had like a lot of cancellations lately here, obviously because of what's going on right now. I've had a lot of changes.
But are they cancellations or are they just postponements?
Some of them are postponed. We have had some cancellations. You know, like grad parties are a little bit more difficult right now, right? But you know, like somebody will say, you know, can you be my DJ for a wedding? And I'll say, I'll DJ. That's not a problem. But you should look at live music first. Am I cheaper than a band? Yeah, for sure. But live music to me personally, maybe I love live music more for this type of group. You know, if it's a mixed wedding, you know, I've got a couple of mixed weddings coming up, which is, you know, Balkan, and I think I have a Balkan Indian one coming. I have another one. And I'm like, these maybe are your better options, or let's work together with this kind of stuff. And so what you say about, you know, supporting each other, being respectful, I think that for anybody who's coming up, and really in all kinds of fields, definitely the creative ones, just goes a long way. It will always come back to you positive.
Well, dai Boże, right?
That's true.
But
Well,
it's hard, and it is hard.
It is hard.
On my end, you know,
it's still a lot of work. It's still a lot of work.
I've got a long way to go, right?
Yeah.
But that is at least a goal of mine, maybe in my elder years here. You know?
And like Bo says in the comments, it's actually a burek, not a pie. For sure. Yes, it is a burek.
My colleague, DJ.
Yeah. Well, man, Goran, SPAZ, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I have the info down there at the bottom, so make sure you guys check them out. DJ SPAZ Chicago. You've got a gig going on tonight. There's something every night if you follow him on his Facebook page, his accounts. There's always magic there. There's always great music. And again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. First of all, thank you for coming on the show, and thank you for continuing to provide great music, great atmosphere all these years. Right, El? Mm-hmm. And she's even listening to you spin too, so it's always good.
You know, the words are appreciated. The support, please I want everybody to know that the support is still appreciated. From old school Detroiters, and I know who, you know, I'm looking at some of the names that are popping.
They're all popping up there.
I'm looking at, you know, like just smiling. Juro, Boban.
Everyone's popping in there.
Like, these are names that just come to mind immediately of Detroit that I remember. I've had very good memories of. And hvala vama for the poziv. Hvala veliku. Hvala svima i hvala dobrom Bogu za sve.
Thank you, SPAZ. Take care, man. Take care.
Thanks, man. All the best.
All the best. Well, that was very cool. Let me adjust the camera here so you can slide over a little bit. That was a blast, wasn't it? Why don't you come on, put your game down, because we got to finish up our show. All right, perfect. So again, always awesome. And Sasha also says a great time. And Alexandra, yes, we need another reunion in Detroit. That's always great to have him on there. Wait, hold on. Let me man this. Okay, yes. Wait. You gotta. I know you want to get cranking here really quick. Let's go on to this next part that Eliana wants to do. Okay, hit the button. It's time for Eliana's joke of the day, and your joke of the day. Well, let me get the full screen for you. The full screen effect. Your joke of the day is:
why do we tell actors to break a leg?
Why do we tell actors to break a leg?
Because every play has a cast.
Every play has a cast. You're getting pretty good at coming up with these jokes, honey. You're gonna take that away from me. You should be a stand-up comedian. Forget about acting. This has been
Eliana's joke of the day. And now it's time for the Macklish word.
The Macklish word of the day. Oops, you know what? Am I putting that part up? There we go. The Macklish word of the day.
Extra size?
Yes. My dad would always say, "Hey, Dalibor, too much you extra size. You're gonna have too big muscles. You need to run more. Too much extra size." Extra size. It kind of is extra size when you think about it. Before we sign out, though, something kind of fun. It is Easter for us.
You need to...
Yeah, it's go down. Oh, sorry. Yes, let me do this. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna have to give you the tablet. I don't want to say it, so you can control all this stuff. Of course. There you go. That has been the Macklish word of the day. We're gonna do one fun thing. So one of the traditions we have in our community is we call it chuk chuk. It's actually everybody calls it something different. I call it chuk chuk. It's always kind of fun. And Easter, we have a lot of Easter eggs, right? Easter eggs are a lot of fun. Sorry, the light blew out there. Where was the pepper from? Easter, we do a fun little thing here. So what is our Easter tradition? So we get all these colored eggs, right? We decorate these eggs. Here are a couple of the eggs, put them on camera. We have this fun thing where two people will battle. It's like a battle royale of eggs. And what happens is everyone takes an egg.
Take the paler one.
Okay, the paler one is mine. And Eliana's beautiful color, which you guys watched us decorate on Friday. Remember, these are two of those unicorn eggs. One person will hold the egg, and you got to do point to point size. One person will hold the egg. The other person will also hold the egg, but the other way. Okay, and no, you hold it down like this, because what happens now is you crack eggs together. So you hold it like this, chook, chook, and this part you're going to go crack like that. And the whole point is to see whose egg cracks. If my egg cracks, then Eliana would get my egg. If her egg cracks, then I get it. So it's just being on offense. You'd think that would be the better thing, but a lot of times, depending on how you hold the egg, depending on the angle and how hard they hit it, it can be there's a little bit of strategy there, isn't there? All right. You want to chook, chook? All right. Let's see who wins. We're going to hold up. Here it is. 1, 2, 3. Let's see who got it. Oh, their little tiny crack in my egg. That means the winner.
Me.
Eliana is the winner. You get the egg. Feel free to eat the egg now, honey.
You.
They're great. Eliana wins. Chook, chook. It's a sound that you make when the eggs kind of crack together. Ellie, stop breaking the egg. Anyways, thank you, everybody, for joining us. Why don't you get a little bit more onto the camera there? Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Easter for a lot of folks. Sunday for a lot of folks. Thank you again to Goran, to SPAZ, DJ SPAZ. Goran, for joining us. Always a blast to have him on. One of the legends of DJs, DJing here, Balkan music in the U.S. and Canada and now worldwide. We look forward to having you. Why don't you look up at the camera, dude? We look forward to having you tomorrow night, where we're going to do Monday Madness. That's what we're going to call our Monday tournaments. See, the light went out, so that's why it's kind of stuttering a little bit. Our Monday tournaments for food this week is going to be
dessert.
What's your favorite dessert? Leave it in the comments here. Let us know what your favorite dessert is. We've already got a little list going. We're going to get them all together, and tomorrow we'll have a massive vote tournament again to figure out what the best dessert is. Again, find us on patreon.com/Dalibor. Oops, I hit the microphone. Sorry about that. And we'll see you on the next episode of That's Delicious. We love you, everybody. Bye. Have a great Sunday. Christos Voskreσε. Happy Easter.